What's going on, guys? It's Charr here, and today we're going to be talking about how I travel with Marvel Champions. Okay, so yeah, we've got a little title intro card going, but we are talking about how I travel with Marvel Champions today. Now, as always, I start off with a couple disclaimers. If you want to get into my current solution, if you don't care about kind of the history and the build-up, which I think you should, because it's pretty important to see what I value in sort of like a travel solution. But if you don't care about that, you just want to see what I use and like a video of like how I have it organized, jump to the timestamp down below in the description, the chapters on the video or the one shown on screen. Anyways, what I will say as another disclaimer is that this is inherently a video not for solo players. If you literally only play this game solo, traveling with the game isn't like a super big thing. Like, I guess if you're going like on a business trip or like a convention or something like that and you want to get some games in like a hotel room or something, then yeah, traveling with your game as solo is applicable. But again, most of my traveling for this game is when I want to play in multiplayer, play with multiple people. So that's more so what this is geared towards. Feel free to watch and check out and interact, all that fun stuff with the video anyways. But I would say it's probably more applicable for people who are, not constantly, but at least every once in a while sit down to play a multiplayer game. I'm gonna try and keep it quick and snappy and get into things one after the other. I just want to start and talk about kind of what I value in terms of like a travel setup or traveling with the game. So I've gone through like very many different solutions and iterations of how I move the game around when I'm going to play multiplayer, whether like it's a long distance, short distance, and whatnot. I just want to talk about kind of what I've learned about myself on what I value in a travel kind of setup and what I don't value and whatnot. And let's just get into it. I have a quick little notepad here. I've been really into physical kind of notes and whatnot. So first one is ease of setup. So when I have my travel setup, I want it to be really easy to get everything I need. Like I need to be able to get my hero deck if I'm running the villain, and most of the time I end up running the villain. I don't mind doing it. I need to be able to get the villain deck, the standard set, and whatever mod sets I want. They need to be really easy to access, super quick, super fast, so we can get into that game. This kind of melds into the next point, which is quick setup. I don't want to be like fumbling around with like a lot of different boxes and like different areas of my bag or something like that, or like different larger carrying containers. Like I separate them into heroes and then into villains, so I have to open two different things, and then inside of them there's odd boxes that are like my hero decks and my villain deck. All that stuff really adds to the setup time, and you really do notice it if you're playing a lot of games back to back to back, which we will kind of talk about when I get to kind of like my early iterations of my travel setup. I want it to be one box or area. Again, these points all kind of meld into each other, but what I mean by that is that I don't want, like, I've had solutions in the past where I've brought like my heroes and then I've brought my villains, but they're in two different boxes, and if I'm running the villain, what that ends up being is that, okay, I have to take both of these boxes out, then search through both of them, then pick them out, and like I just don't want that. I want it to be all in one condensed box. That makes it really easy for me to sit down and play. The last one, and that one that I think is also very important, is ease of pickup. Now, I'm pretty sure ease of setup and ease of pickup kind of go hand in hand, but I guess they don't always have to. Something can be really easy to set up, but the pickup can be kind of really tedious if they have to go in like specific places, specific boxes or areas or whatnot. I kind of want that malleability to be able to have an easy setup, easy pickup, and just keep cranking out games. That's the number one thing that I think I value in terms of my travel setup. Just like very condensed and super easy to pick up and play. That's the whole idea, as easy as it would be if I'm sitting at home and I have all access to all my cards and whatnot. It should be probably even easier and more streamlined than that. When we get into my early iterations of designs, I kind of have I don't really have like eras or anything like specific time frames, but I can talk about like what my travel solutions were and look like. And I have a couple like physical examples scattered around me that I could pick up and show you guys. For my first couple of iterations, when I was really getting into the game, I was mostly a solo player, so I really wouldn't move the game anywhere. Other than in the same area in the house. Like I'd move a deck maybe if I wanted to play on like a dining table before dinner, if I wanted to play it in like the secondary living room or whatnot when I was still at home with my parents. Like I could move my decks and villains around. I would just pick the stuff up and physically move it, but I wasn't like going to like a game shop or going to like a big convention or traveling with it. So again, it wasn't really a big thing. Now, on the off chance that when I was getting a couple of my friends into the game that we were playing multiplayer games, the easiest solution I found truly, well, this wasn't the first one. The first one, actually, you can see in kind of the corner right here. If you see that gray box right there, it's always in the background. I would just bring my whole collection with me. So like, I bought a lot of the collection, and I got a lot of my cards to like local Facebook Marketplace collections near me. But very early on, I realized that I needed a storage solution for the cards, so I bought like the BCW plastic 4-row bins. I got one for my birthday last January, and it was really instrumental for me initially organizing all of my cards in a way that was really readable for me. At first, I had my heroes and villains in one blue box, but as you can see, there's a gray box there, meaning I had to buy a separate one for villains once I kind of caught up with the game. But early on, I would literally just pick up that gigantic blue heavy plastic box, and I would move it to my friend's house if we were going to play. I didn't separate any villains. I didn't separate any heroes. I kept most of them in their pre-con decks because I wasn't making decks at that point. And yeah, that's how my travel solution was. It was very cumbersome. You'd have to pick it up. I'd have to physically put it in my passenger side of my car and then drive over, or they would come over, and then obviously it wouldn't be that bad if they came over, but they would do the same thing where they would just bring every single one of their cards. And I would like to say that that's not like super efficient. Some people really have a big analysis paralysis, and I don't blame you guys for that. But I would say that if you want to play the game and like have fun, just pick out a couple heroes you think you're super interested in. Get maybe a couple different aspects. That's not really what this video is about. But get a couple different aspects and just bring them with you. Trust me, you don't need access to your entire card pool. You don't need access to all your heroes. If a deck doesn't work, that's fine. You go back, you iterate it, and then you come back the next time you're playing multiplayer, and you'll be just fine. Just don't, I would stress not to worry about it. Just bring a couple heroes you want to play, you think will be fun, and bring them with you. It lightens your load so much. But after I was done lugging that box around, I'm like, okay, what can I do to speed this up? When I started like making decks or kind of like getting familiar with the heroes I liked and didn't, and the villains I liked and didn't, the earliest solution and whatnot for me was these little like bastion boxes, or essentially any TCG deck box. Now, none of this is affiliated or sponsored in any way, but these are just the boxes I would use. For clarity, I would use like the Ultra Pro, the one that you can get like 12 of like the 60 card deck boxes for like $10. I would bring my stuff around in these deck boxes. Sometimes they would be labeled, sometimes they wouldn't, but I just throw in a hero deck, and I throw in a couple villain decks, or like a couple heroes and like maybe one or two villains I was interested in playing. Throw these in a bag of some sort. I mean, I have an example here, just flexing my awesome Yu-Gi-Oh bag from when I was a kid. So I just like grab it, throw it in there, and just go on my way. I'd have a couple deck boxes. They just be in whatever. I mean, they're meant to carry your cards and keep them protected, as long as they're in sleeves as well. So they jostle around in here, whatever. And then when I wanted to play, I just dig out and look through every single box. And that fit my solution because it was technically better than what I was doing before. What I was doing before was bringing my entire collection. Now I'm bringing, okay, only a portion of my collection or stuff I'm interested in. It was a lot faster, a lot easier on like the arms. It was a lot less heavy. And it was a good solution for that. In addition to that, I would have like these little, a lot of the collections I bought had these like wooden pieces where you could like put like counters. So I'd put kind of like the tokens from the actual game in here, or I'd put like dice that I use, because very early on I started using dice. I didn't really use the tokens in the game because dice just make more sense to me. So I would put like dice in here, and then that would also get thrown in the bag with it, and we'd go on our way. I would say like the next proto evolution from that carrying solution was just finding something dedicated to carry cards. Now, this is not a dedicated carrying card case, but it does work that way. It's got a nice strap here that you can like kind of carry around. It's got like good foaming and protection. My mom was a teacher, and this was like the schools was liquidating stuff, so I was able to get this. I think it's actually for like a projector monitor or something, but there might be spoilers to some of the bastions in here. But there's like 2 rows. It comes with this little insert here, and I would literally just like throw this in here, and then any other tokens I had, and I would just line the decks up here just straight up. I wouldn't even keep them in deck boxes. It depended on the deck or the cards, but sometimes I'd put them in boxes, sometimes I wouldn't. But now they were just kind of lined up here really nicely, so whenever I got to game, I would just unzip it and like take the stuff out, and then if I didn't have enough cards to fill both rows, I'd also just throw a mat right here in the middle. So it worked out really well. I did kind of miss on the backpack solution. I did have like a mat carrying tube that I just threw in there as well. Just throw everything in the backpack and just go with it. It's so much lighter, and it was technically so much easier than it was in the past. But that would be like kind of like my really early travel solution / iterations. They weren't great, they weren't anything fancy, but they were functional, and that was all they were meant to be. But then I tried to get a bit more serious, I think, about my storage solutions. Again, here I'm still primarily a solo player, but then I took the lead to go to the Con of Heroes, as many of you know. And I think that really changed my relationship with the game for the better. It was such a great event, but this is different. I wasn't traveling to my friend's house. I wasn't traveling to a local game store. I was traveling like across the country essentially, and I was like, how do I bring my cards? So one mistake I made, and the one I echoed earlier, is I felt like I needed to bring cards to like kind of side deck specific cards in my deck in case the deck didn't work, or like really specific niche cards to like just quote swap in and out. So one of my solutions was to bring my binder here. So like I keep like a binder of kind of like staple cards. So like you have Repurpose showing up, Dive Bomb, whatnot, Professor X, you could see. These are cards that are like, I call them staples in terms of like a TCG background, but they're cards that can be slotted in almost any deck, or they're like key parts of certain deck archetypes that require them to like function essentially. So like if some cards were weak in a deck, I found there were just like generic options in there I could swap out to just bump up the power of the deck a little bit. So I brought that with me. And then I brought all the decks. I think I brought 8 decks to the convention. So like I had the 8 decks laid out, and then I brought that with me. And then I brought, you know, my 3 or 4 villains, my mats, and all my tokens and dials. And I'm like, okay, this is like, I can kind of throw these in my passenger seat if I'm driving somewhere, but how do I actually travel with this stuff? So I had my commuter backpack, and this is what I found. I don't know when I got this box. It's one of those like unnamed, unmarked, like drop shipped Amazon boxes that you can get. They have the magnets here. You can see I have like the Con of Heroes stickers and some of the Heroes stickers I was giving out at the con here. Yeah, I don't even know what Melcaro brand. Yeah, I don't know. It's like one of these drop shipped Amazon brands. There's like a million of these. They're all made by the same people. They just have like a different name on them. This worked really well. Like I didn't have any huge issues with it. It kept my cards safe. As you can see, there's like 3 lanes in here. I have like Pokemon stuff in here, and like Yu-Gi-Oh Edison draft that I made sleeved up in here in case the next time. But yes, this is essentially what I used. 3 rows here. I think I had like heroes here. I had like villains and kind of my tokens and stuff, and I either had my mat or other cards in this row. But as you can probably tell, I didn't just throw my cards in here because they could get jostled up in my backpack as I was traveling. Another important part of this were these little deck boxes here. So as you can see them, they're clear, they're really thin. These are the Burger Tokens Perfect Fit deck boxes, and these really did the job well. I didn't have any problem using these. I don't have any of the ones I use specifically for the con because I put little labels on them to know which hero it was, like Cable, Doctor Strange, or some of the ones I brought. But essentially this kept it easy to organize. So what you can do, you can just like open it up, and like, yeah, it opens up right there, and it will keep your cards protected. Like, let me grab a couple of these Yu-Gi-Oh cards really quick. Just go ahead, slide them in there. They perfect fit around your cards, so they fit just well into these like lanes here. So I can just go ahead, push it down into there, and boom, protected and separated, which is a really important thing because I didn't want all my decks. If I use like physical dividers and I didn't have any labels on them, I wouldn't really be able to easily tell what the deck was, which would add to like that setup time like I was talking about. And you know, it would just add timing. The main thing I noticed, and I'll talk about the pros and cons of this solution, I thought this was kind of elegant, right? So like this had most of the stuff I needed, but actually if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think I had enough space in here for my mat actually. So it was another little kind of thing I had to bring that mat tube you saw earlier to transport my stuff. Let's talk about the pros and cons of that solution real quick. I guess we can start with the pros and cons of my initial, like the deck boxes and stuff. The pros was a lot less weight, a lot less things for me to bring, but the cons was the setup time was too long. Nothing was labeled. I had to go through all the deck boxes, especially for the villains too. It was just like really disorganized, and yeah, it was a good step one, but it was not my solution. When you go to the Con of Heroes kind of storage that I brought, there was a lot of pros where there was really good separation. Everything was being labeled, so I knew exactly what deck I was bringing out. I knew exactly which one I wanted to play at the time. I put like labels with the name and maybe a little bit of color coding to know what aspect, even though I remembered all the aspects they were in because I made the decks. But the con was that I still felt like it was too long. It was too long to set up. It was too long to pick up. specifically the pickup. So I love the little burger token boxes. I don't want to say they do what they do poorly. They do exactly what they want to do. They fit perfectly around their cards. They protect them in this little like affordable plastic casing. They're great. They do exactly what they want to do. That being said, when I have to pick up after a game, it's like, okay, well, I have to put my deck in here. And like, okay, I have to put the villain in here. And then, oh, wait, I have a mod set in this other one. And the standard set is in its own place. And then by the end of the con, a lot of things were just getting mixed up because like I didn't want to like go through the granularity. And I guess that could have been an oversight when I was packing it. My ideal solution would have been like printing proxies of the standard set, and like every villain I brought, like this would be the opposite end of what I did, was like printing proxies of the standard set and putting a specific standard set in every single villain I brought. So whenever I wanted to play that villain, all I would have to do is open one box, take it out, shuffle it up, put the obligations in, and start playing. Like that would be my ideal solution. Obviously, I didn't end up doing that, which is why we ended up to where we're at today. So the moment we've been waiting for, we're actually going to get down to the table view over to my left and get to the solution I found. Again, nothing sponsored or anything like that. I just thought it'd be really fun to talk through kind of my evolution of how I travel and pack the game. And what I found is my current best solution as of September of 2025. So let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so here we are at this view. It's a bit odd. I haven't had this webcam here in a minute. But yes, so let's go ahead and talk about what my solution is for traveling with the game. So I'm not going to beat around the bush. Again, none of this is sponsored, but I will be telling you everything that I use because I think it's important if you guys actually care about how I travel and really how much I really like this product and how it changed the game. So here it is. I'm pretty sure you guys might have seen this in the thumbnail, but this is the Gamegenic Game Castle, and the camera is going to shake a little bit because this table isn't super steady. But yeah, so this is essentially what solved most of my travel solution issues. So when we look at the Gamegenic Game Castle, it looks kind of unassuming. You have like this clear kind of front here, and then you look on the back and it's also clear. But yes, there are two sides to this product. One side of the product is for your tokens and anything that you need. The other side is for holding cards. Now mine is a bit modified, so I will beat around the bush, but you just undo these latches here, and let's just talk about this. So as a baseline, I think the MSRP for this in the US is about $60. That can be a bit hefty, but I'm telling you, if you are somebody who travels with this game a lot, or just like really doesn't have a good travel solution, this will change the game. Literally, it did for me, it felt like. So we open this up here and you look, and there's kind of color coded things. I have a lot of things going on. This is obviously my solution, so it's customized for what I like to do. But let's talk about it. So it comes with these compartments here. So we have two compartments here who can hold like essentially most card game stuff is designed around Magic Commander. So I think both of these can hold like half a Commander deck or something. So like 50 sleeves. These slots can easily fit a Marvel Champions deck plus the obligation and your hero card, especially even if you're like a 50 card Strange deck, it will fit in here. So my current solution for this first one is like throwing in my standard and any extra modulars I have and a couple extra random cards if I felt like I need to swap them out. And then I have also a little bit of sleeves here because some of the players I play with do like having the obligations in the same sleeve. So I obviously bring a couple extras if we end up playing one of my villains. And you might look here and you may be like, wow, these are like really cool little like boxes here. So essentially these are cards made, or little boxes made to fit Marvel Champions deck. So I've got like a Quicksilver Protection deck right here that I haven't had a chance to play, which I hope to play this weekend. But yeah, so these are really cool. So there's slots for kind of these bins here to throw your cards in sideways. So one thing that's really elegant about these bins that I love is that when you open the box from the side, you can see what the hero is. So this kind of like gets rid of the need to label things. One of the problems I had with kind of my Con of Heroes solution was that I felt like I really needed to label every box to speed up my ease of like setup and whatnot. But now I can just look at the little preview these little divots on the side give, like, okay, I can tell, especially because I color coded these as orange, like, oh, okay, now that they're color coded too, I can tell that this is like a villain, like this is a villain box or a villain size box. So I know that I don't need to look in here if I'm looking for a specific hero to play and whatnot. But this is kind of misleading, and I want to get ahead of the fact is that the Gamegenic Castle does not come with these. The ones that it comes with are these 100 card holders, especially because it's made for Commander first. Like I said, most card games thing. So it fits in the same slot here. And so this is originally what it came with. So this is an upgrade I actually managed to do. So if you look at it, You know, we have these 250 card holders, but if I throw these in here, okay, like they fit just fine. Like you can even maybe fit a third deck or a villain deck or something in here. And yeah, so they just go right next to each other and it fits all those cards just fine. These are the base little holders it comes with. And then originally what I did is I would throw a divider of some kind or just some sort of like thing that wasn't a card to divide this, and it worked out just well. I did this for multiple months. Other times I would put like the little burger tokens to separate the decks. But around that time is when I really noticed that I didn't like having to undo the plastic on the burger token boxes every time, which is why I found and seeked out this solution, which will be a bit of a story in itself here in a second. But yeah, so those are custom inserts. I will have the like print files down below. They were made by a member of the community, Andrew, SDX. They are awesome. They were super easy and simple to get printed out near me. I think they were a big upgrade. If you're a big Commander player, I play it from time to time. I have like one of the pre-cons Final Fantasy in here. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 14 in here. I mean, look, it fits just fine in there. But most of the time I'm playing Marvel Champions. So if I wanted to, I could swap that one in there if I'm playing, you know, planning to bring this to play kind of Commander or whatever. But most of the time it's just here for Champions. We've got Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. We'll put them back in there. But yes, I felt like these bins were a really good and nice addition to the game castle. I felt like they're perfect Marvel Champion size, and they really make it super easy for me to pick up and go. Like, I still have one of the dividers that I was talking about right here just to split it up. I think this is like a Ensabanur, and then I think this one is Enchantress right here, and then we have the big MMO, what am I trying to say, massive multiplayer Loki scenario in front, and then we have Apocalypse, the original, or Apocalypse 1, and this is Apocalypse 2 right here. So that's what I've got in my box currently right now. But I think even without these inserts, if you don't have any access to 3D printing, I think this is a super, super good solution just because this will protect it. So like when you cover this up, the cards do not move around. I don't have the space to really like throw the box around or shake it. Your cards are not getting damaged in here. They are fitting snug in this box, and it should be good to go for you to just pick it up. It has a nice handle that you can just choose to walk around with it. I don't even bring a bag with me sometimes. I literally just walk into the game store with. Other than that, I want to talk about a couple other products I use to kind of speed up or like kind of make my playing experience a little better. These are like the Uber Stacks kind of modular card holders. So what they do is that you can click them onto each other, kind of like a Lego in a way. They can just like hold your cards up like this. So we got like an Infinite Soldier here, and we've got Barrage here, and they just hold your cards up. I do this for like putting the villain deck just in a way that everyone at the table can see it. These aren't needed by any means, but if they do interest you, I found them to be really nice and helpful, especially in a multiplayer scenario to just help people with sight lines and whatnot. So really good, really awesome, and I recommend these. I got these from somebody off the Discord. I didn't buy them new. They can be a bit pricey because you have to buy like multiple packages of them, but you can like find other solutions. You could do like Legos or something to help you hold your cards up. And this one is kind of something of my own design. So I have this mat here that isn't as tall as normal mats. It's actually much shorter, kind of lengthwise. Widthwise, it's like extremely long. A friend of mine's parents made this mat for me, and it was the perfect size to fit in here, which was kind of the you know, the perfect touch, or like why I love this solution so much, because it fixed every single issue I had. It's not multiple boxes. Everything is literally in one place. I can fit, you know, I fit my mat in here. I can fit the villain dial right here. I can fit the villain stand holders here. And essentially what this area was originally, it was at base, this castle comes with 6 of those 100 card holders. So essentially I just took those holders out, and now I can have these card holders on the side. You know, you can slot them back in at any point. They fit in just fine. They don't do any movement. And it works super well. If I don't need my mat and I want to carry a larger mat in a different tube, I can just slot in more slots for Marvel Champions cards, or maybe we're doing a mixed game night. I could do like Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or something like that. So just really good, really elegant, and I was really lucky to have a mat that actually fits in here. Most standard mats, I will clarify, most standard mats are not going to fit in here. That's why this is a very specific solution or box that worked really well for me, because my mat actually does fit just in here. Super good, super awesome, and this is all I need to sit down and travel and play Marvel Champions. I was a bit hesitant on the Game Genic Castle at the beginning, but through a lot of the work of the people in the larger Marvel Champions Discord and just hearing people talk about their experiences with it, it seemed like the #1 solution that I was looking for to speed up my games, speed up setup, speed up pickup, and just have a good time. My setup is take a villain, is literally take a hero out, take a villain out, take the standard set. That's it. My setup's done. Take my mat and like take the villain stand. Boom, it's done. When I'm finished with the game, just slot them back in those same slots. There's no like little opening the burger token boxes. Nothing like that. Super good, super efficient, and awesome. But this isn't all the game gen it comes with. Another problem with storage solution is all of your peripherals, your HP dials, your like counters for like uses, cards that have uses on them. You know, your stun and confused status tokens or cards if used by the same token or whatever thing you use, the burger token versions, and everything like that. So like, how does this answer that? Well, super easily. You get this, and that's why I love this product. You turn it over. There's actual like ways that you can input like a strap. Oh, it's not in the camera right now. There are ways that you can put a strap on this to like literally sling it over your shoulder. I just carry it because I just, it's not heavy enough for me to warrant setting it up, and I feel like it loses some of its like kind of maneuverability with the strap on. I just didn't want it on there. But yeah, so this is the solution. So on one side, you can store all your cards. On the other side, you can store these modular bins. It comes with all these bins. I didn't have any 3D printed ones here, but it comes with essentially all the bins shown here. And this is where you keep everything you need. So I made some my own BTST inspired tokens a long time ago, and I wanted to do a tutorial about that on one point, but I still might. Let me know if that interests you guys. But yeah, so it comes with all these little bins, and I did rearrange them a little bit for the ones that work the best with me. So you have like my first player tokens, my acceleration tokens. I use these for allies and my own counters. These you know, dice I usually just, they slide out super easily. Usually these dice I put in the middle of the table for anyone who wants to use for villain damage. For threat, I just like tip them over and anyone can pick them up and use it. And then when I'm done, I just swipe them all off the table back in here. Boom, slots in just fine. These ones I usually throw in the middle of the table. They're stunned and confused, and I usually just keep these right on the side while I'm playing the game. I'll just put these to the side, and I take my ready exhaust tokens. I take my own personal dice pile here, and it's just super easy and super elegant. And then when you're done with it, just put it all back in there. You slot it back in, close it up, and you're done. That's really it. I've got extra dials if anyone needs them. I've got extra miscellaneous dice here if anyone needs them. I usually use this little health tracker when I play the game nowadays. It was from Jossaru at Con of Heroes. Shout out to him. I just like the tactile feelings of like the click here. It's pretty fun. But I have backup dials in case anyone forgot or needs one, or we're playing a scenario where we need one for like the threat dial, whatnot. And I have so much space in here that I could get like another 3D printed solution for like something modular, so to make like one really long kind of what's it called, one really long bin here that I could maybe put in those villain kind of Uber stacks holders in here instead of having them right next to my mat. But I haven't done that to this point, and that's essentially it for the video. I just really wanted to share kind of my journey with how I found the solution that really worked for me, and a product that really met every single need that I had. I hadn't found, I'm sure there's other products out there that can do a very similar function and feeling. But my idea is like when I go on my Saturday Marvel Champions meetups, the fact that I can just pick this up by the handle, walk in, nothing else, no backpack, just have my wallet, keys, phone in my, in my pockets. I come in with this, and this is all I need. There's no searching through multiple backpack pockets. There's no mat tubes. There's no, what's it called? There's no like token holders or like my own like token silo I have to bring with me, because a lot of this back part is inspired by the GameGenic token silo, which I think, don't quote me on this, that their little boxes are compatible with this. So if you already have that, you can mix and match them in here. So like I don't need multiple things. I just bring this, it's fine-tuned to exactly how I like to play and set up the game, and it's super good and super fun. I hope you guys enjoy this. This was a bit of a different video today in my opinion, but I thought it'd be really interesting, and I thought it might help some people out who are just getting into playing multiplayer, or like wanting to learn like different ways or different solutions to transport your game. Let me know if you guys enjoy this and if you'd enjoy something similar in the future. But that's gonna be it for me for now. Leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if you're interested in checking out any of the products here. None of this is an affiliate link. I am not nearly big enough. I will leave the names in the description. They will not be affiliate linked. You're not giving me any money. I don't know. Some people have like varying opinions on that stuff. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just letting you guys know what products I actually use and enjoy. And if this is something that you use and enjoy, and you come back to me and be like, wow, I really love the castle, or like I really love like kind of that Amazon unbranded drop ship thing that worked really well for me, just let me know down in the comment section down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one. Goodbye.